Hi, I'm Grant from Blackmagic Design, and today I want to show you the new camera software update 1.9 that we've just released on our website today. This new update really is specifically designed for the Blackmagic production camera 4K. We've added a couple of new features into that camera model. We're going to add some of these features into the other models as we go forward, but we really wanted to get this out and available to you as quickly as we could. So this update, if you've got a Blackmagic production camera 4K, this is this software update is for you. Now, two of the things we've added, one of them is a new sensor calibration processing, so that'll improve the calibration processing of the sensor and images. The second thing we've added is a new heads-up display, and that gives you some scopes and audio meters on screen. So I've got a Blackmagic production camera 4K here, and what I'll do is I'll flip it around, you can see the rear screen and see what we've done. So if you look at the back, now you can see we've moved the status strip up the top, and the reason we've done that is it gives us space down the bottom of the screen to put the heads-up display. Now, to turn the heads-up display on, all you do is just flip it up, and it'll appear, and you can remove it just by flipping down, and I'll flip it back on again so you can see it. You can see it's translucent, so you can shoot through the display, and you can turn it on and off as you need, but you can still frame the shot and see the image through the display. You can see we've got audio meters on the right-hand side, and they've got peak detection indicators. So if you've got some rapid peaks, you can see where they are. We've also got a time remaining in the middle, and that's in hours and minutes. We had, funny enough, minutes and seconds when we were developing the camera, but it was really quite distracting seeing the seconds counting down. So we changed it to hours and minutes. And it's turned out to be quite useful because if you're doing really long form recordings, like often people record for more than half an hour when they're doing an interview with our cameras, and you can see really how much media you've got. And that's quite important when you're really preparing to do a long recording to know that you've got the indication in minutes and hours. So, and obviously on the large discs you can get with SSDs, you can get really quite long recordings. That time recalibrates depending whether you're using RAW or if you're using, say, a compressed format like ProRes, and so you'll get a time remaining, that will change based on the format you record in. So you might find it's a lower number when you're recording RAW, and if you change to ProRes, you get a larger number because obviously you've got raw recording time because it's a compressed video format. And on the left-hand side is the exciting display, I think, for colorists. When you're shooting, you really want to be shooting, the full range of the image sensor and the full range of the file. So this is the histogram, which gives you the indication from your shadows all the way to your highlights. If I adjust the iris, you can see it will crush down into the blacks, and you'll clip the whites as you move, and you see the whites on the right-hand side and the shadows, the black details down the left-hand side. And you can really get your iris set so that you've got it perfectly in the middle there. And then you can see that I'm not really crushing any of the blacks in the shadows. I'm not really clipping any of the whites there. And that's very important. If you're going to be sending these clips to a colorist, now you want to really give him everything that's in the scene. You really give him all the shadow details, all the highlights. You don't want to really clip anything in the camera. Normal video cameras, that's the problem. They clip the white detail and they crush the blacks. And so what you're really getting is sort of, in the old days we used to call that a tape-to-tape grade. We really just had sort of, this visual range which was quite narrow. The great thing about these cinema cameras, you've got much wider dynamic range, and you really want to capture that. So setting the iris is quite a critical part of that, and the histogram allows you to do it really perfectly. Then when you give the files to the colorist, you get these beautiful cinematic color grades, and you give them everything that's available to really give them the sort of creative range that they can really process and work the images and get everything out of them in a really creative way. So I think the histogram is a really important feature, and I think it's really exciting to see it built into the camera. Now, I've got a manual lens on this camera, so the histogram can also be turned on and off with the iris button, because when you're running a manual lens, you don't really have the auto iris setting. When you're running an active lens, you push the iris button and it sets the iris. But in a manual lens, you're doing it manually, so we've made the heads-up display come on and off with the iris button. And of course, the focus button, this is a manual lens, so the focus button does the focus peaking. Normally with an active lens, you double press the focus button to get the focus peaking, because a single press of the focus button gives you the autofocus feature. But in this case with a manual lens, pushing the focus button will bring up the focus peaking. And of course you've still got the double tap on screen, which works the same way as it normally does. So you can zoom in and focus. So that's really the new features of this new software update 1.9. Now that's available on our website now, so you can download it. Again, thank you for all the feedback everyone's been giving us, and hopefully if you've got a Blackmagic production camera 4K, you can download that software and program it into the camera from your Mac and PC just with a USB cable, and you can get that running straight away. So hopefully this is a great update and you enjoy using it, and thank you for working with our products.